Hey there, happy day 1110 of What's She Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, sharing my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar real world of business, I like to call it the real world, to the online world. And the online world of business is, of course, real business as well. And many companies and many industries have migrated faster than we ever thought possible to the internet because of the pandemic. So all good things. Been trying to get people to get online and at least have an online component to their business for years, spinning my wheels trying to figure that out and how to help them. And the pandemic was probably the biggest shove, the biggest push that could have ever happened in terms of making my life so much easier because of that. Because people know that they have to find other ways, they have to find alternative ways to reach their people, to serve their people, to continue to give value, to continue to provide products and services to people when their businesses are shut down, their businesses are closed. So think about that. So today, the Get Up and Go Challenge, number 6, it's our 6th one, our 6th over 30-day challenge. It's more than the 6th Get Up and Go Challenge, but it's the 6th one that's 30 days plus. And in that, I teach the SOAP framework. Sorry, it's backwards. This was actually my original SOAP for the SOAP framework. And we learn about the change process, the challenge process, the challenge and change framework that I've been using for years, not really on a conscious level, on a subconscious level, and how doing it on purpose has a huge impact on my ability to handle change, handle challenges, handle difficult situations, difficult people, or just change in general. Now, I've been handling changes for a long time and had to deal with situations that most of the world will never know about, but all of us have that, right? We just have never experienced this massive change where hundreds of millions of people, if not billions of people, actually billions of people, have all been impacted by the COVID pandemic. Now, we've been impacted in different ways and to various degrees, but I don't think hardly ever in our history have so many people been impacted by the same root cause. You know, the root cause of all of the changes and challenges is this pandemic. If the pandemic had never happened, if we never had the COVID virus, of course we'd have flus and cold season and things like that, and people would still be dying, but from different things, a bigger variety of things. Now it seems everybody is dying of COVID. So, or all the deaths are being attributed to COVID, which we won't even go down that road. So Get Up and Go Challenge today was describing the SOAP framework, and then over the next 4 days, we'll go through it in detail, step by step, SOAP, for one area or aspect of our life. You know, in the overall scheme of things and in our life, there's really 7 areas or aspects of our life that we need to consider. Learned this from, Tony Robbins, I think, and Jim Rohn decades ago, literally decades ago. And so I have planned my life and my goals and things around that framework of physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, and contribution. I've set my goals in my planners and breaking my goals down using that as my guideline for I want to say forever, but not, probably when I was in my 20s, I started using that. Now, since I'm going to be 61 next month, I think that it's gotten a lot of practice and a lot of use. So I set everything up according to that framework. And as I'm teaching the SOAP framework, I'm giving specific examples and going through, and every time I do it, I do different things and different examples. So I let everybody pick what area do we want to start with, and then I have to think of what in my life am I working on, and I pick an example from what I'm personally working on, and I share that example. Okay, well, what's the story? What's the situation I'm telling myself about this particular thing with this particular area and aspect of my life? What are my options? What are the possible ways of dealing with that situation in that story? Once I get clear on what the story is, not just what I'm making it up to be in my mind, then I can look at solutions and options, possibilities and options. Then, as soon as I look at all those and I get myself a good bunch of possibilities, not just 1 or 2, I'm going to pick one and I'm going to take an action toward making that a reality to solve my problem or deal with the change I'm experiencing. And then I'm going to notice, am I making progress? Did it move me in the direction I want to go or not? If it didn't move me in the direction I want to go, do I need to do it again? Have I just not given it enough time, etc.? And then I decide what's my next action. We loop back over and over and over again until the change or challenge has been resolved. And then as part of progress, anything that we can automate or make a habit or a ritual that will continue to move us toward the end result that we want in that area or aspect of our life, we're going to find a way to make that a habit or a routine. Maybe we're doing a physical thing and we want to increase our energy and our level of activity. So we decide one of the things we're going to do is exercise 3 times a week at the gym, and then we're going to go for a walk in nature the other 4 days of the week. And we're going to put systems in place like scheduling it, putting the gym on our schedule and the walk on our schedule to make sure we actually continue to do it and follow through and progress toward better health, more energy, whatever it happens. So do one thing every day that centers you today. Yesterday was about focusing on one thing. Today it was about the 1,000 things that interest you. We should have one profound interest and then 1,000 or so other interests, things that we're interested in. So today we're going to share some things that we're interested in on our list of 1,000. And I rattled off a couple things on the video today. Supersize your business. Our idiom today was, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. And that's a good one. That's a pretty good one to remember because it has a lot of implications in different areas and aspects of our life. It's interesting, and I didn't think of this example until I was reminded about electricity. A fuse is intentionally installed in a circuit and is the weakest link on purpose. So we have fuses in anything that's got electrical circuits and currents. Think of our cars, our stoves, our refrigerators, anything that's got an electrical circuit or current in it that helps it work. There's a fuse involved, and it's designed to fail and to be the first thing in that circuit that fails because it protects everything else from more damage if something else were to fail or the circuit were to break or fail somewhere else. And so that reminded me that there's always a positive spin or a positive side to everything that we consider. So every change, every challenge, anything that happens to us, we have to remember that along with what feels bad, there's things that feel good if we're willing to go forward and look for them. And then, that's a good idiom. It's got so many implications for our lives as well as for our businesses. So I'm working on those. We've got a brand new baby in the house, which is so exciting and so energizing. I'm just loving that. They're going to the doctor today, so I'm going to do some cleaning and do some projects while they are gone. And I'm doing a preview, reading a preview book for The Amazing Victoria Gallagher, which is a topic that is a little bit of a rough topic for me. So it's actually cool that I said I would do it and that I'm reading and reviewing this book. Just finishing up another challenge with a woman I adore. It's a reading challenge. She does reading challenges, which for me, given that I'm visually impaired, but it's why I keep doing them is because it's forcing me to find solutions to continue to be and grow and continue to improve in areas that I want to. And if I weren't taking her up on her reading challenges, I would just be doing what I've been doing to get by. I wouldn't be facing up to the story of what I need to do for reasonable accommodations to accommodate my own specific personal needs. And we need to do that. We need to not let things go too far. And I have a tendency with everything to let it go a really, really, really long way before I address it. And some things that works for, other things it does not work for. I think of auto maintenance and car maintenance. I believed when I was driving, I haven't driven for a couple of years, but I believed I should put gas, oil in it, and then take it in for a scheduled maintenance. But other than that, I shouldn't have to think about my vehicle or about my car, which is not the best approach to any machine or device that needs tender, loving care sometimes. So that's a good example of how I kind of would tend to let things go. I'd let my tires go until somebody told me I needed new tires. I wouldn't ever check them. I wouldn't know to do that. So balance strengths and weaknesses, right? That would be one of my weaknesses. So that's it. That's all I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to get to the project. Oh, I'm doing another challenge too. I'm doing a tribe challenge with Mark Bowness. I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff as well as my other things and my own challenge. So any questions, hit me up in the comments below or direct message me. Like I like to say, I can be that sounding board. If you don't have someone to ask me. I will answer in a non-judgmental way. If I don't know the answer, I will help you find the resource or the person or the thing that you need to get you moving. I don't want anybody to ever feel stuck. I remember one of my worst feelings in the offline world because I didn't feel like I had people to call on and ask all the time for specific things. And then in the online world, being scared and thinking it would make me look stupid if I asked about things. I remember that would freeze me in my tracks sometimes for like a couple of days because I wouldn't know how to do something. I'd be trying to figure it out and Googling it and being a self-starter and trying to figure it out myself because that's how I learn best. And then I'd get frustrated, and as soon as I would type in the question to ask, the answer would appear in my head. It was just my own resistance to asking that was blocking me from seeing what was right in front of my face. And so I encourage you to be quicker to ask. Now, it doesn't mean you don't be a self-starter and try to figure stuff out, or at least, you know, if you have a problem or a question and you haven't at least done a search for it or a Google for it to try to find the solution, shame on you, because you can find a solution to almost any question on the planet by Googling or one of the other search engines to ask the question, by going to Quora, by going to any one of the other question asking sites, going to your industry specific questions and answer places, or what was I thinking about? I was thinking one more thing about that, but there's answers everywhere that, you know, when we were coming up in our businesses, there just was nothing. There was no internet when I was building businesses and still in business. And then when the internet came along, I was so busy in my businesses, building my businesses, I didn't have the opportunity to explore and look into it and find out about it and actually realize how powerful it would have been to combine and use with my businesses in terms of growing and supersizing them so much faster. So, big, huge lesson. All right, that's it. That's all I've got. Have an amazing day. I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye.